It's episode 76 of the Swamp Creatures podcast, and we have the documents.
Leighton's got the Alaskan documents. Welcome to the pod. Thanks for coming on, buddy. I missed you. You came down to Florida and got a taste of the Alaskan bear.
I did get to now I you can actually see me well now because I had to wait for my webcam. That was the part of the story. I talked about this on my show, but when I went to Florida, I left my webcam and my my laptop charger, like the part that connects it, the brick, just under the pillow of Robert's couch.
Is that how you get more followers? Because I haven't been sleeping with my webcam under my pillow. I've been trying to get more followers.
If it makes you feel better, Rob left a light at my house, so there we go. There's like a cycle going on here.
Yeah, things get left behind, man. But I was just like, how did you sleep with it? Because it was a big block. It's a big block thing, and
Dude,
webcam.
I was so out of it that night. Like, I was so tired.
That was during the first Florida Freedom Fest?
No.
This
was just a random trip, right?
Oh shit.
Yeah, so I went down it was like a month and a half ago, something like that at this point. But I went down to go to originally go to the Florida Freedom Fest, the second one that they were doing, but then it got canceled and I still had all my tickets. So I wasn't really gonna bail on the trip because I'd already paid for a bunch of stuff. So I just went down and sort of hung out. I went to Pensacola, I went to Panama Beach, went to Orlando, saw soccer games, football games, stuff like that. Went to big tailgate thing that they did there for the football game, which I'd never been to any of those, so that was cool.
Down in Orlando at UCF?
Yeah. It was a blast. I went over with Pat.
Pat was in his true form there with you, I bet.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, it was fun.
But yeah, we also had dinner with Mr. Dickie Walnuts, Rich, aka Daddy Dickie now, and saw the baby. So
I got some steaks and we took them over to his place. That way, there was some place to cook them. I was like, I'll get the shit. You gotta cook it because I don't want to deal with this stuff. I'm on vacation.
Good steaks, pretty good steaks too. He cooked them up.
It was good.
Look good, yeah. That was nice.
Something about the Tower Power gang. They all know how to cook. Something about the racism. I don't know.
I've only had one of them cook now. I need to start collecting them like Pokemon cards.
Now I'm assuming this is the case because I've tried Top Lobster's smoked hog at the Robbie the Fire Bernstein event.
Oh, okay. I didn't get to go to that one. I wanted to so bad.
Yeah, I didn't know racism made steak taste that good. I mean, I was wondering why he was saying those kind of words to the steak, but it was.
I am officially editing now for all the. I'm editing shorts and clips and all that stuff for Tower Gang now. So
nice. You definitely made me look silly a couple times on this podcast back when you freely edited some clips. So
you basically media matters us.
It was great. That was fun. I still credit myself for a big reason why 2 people left the LP. So
wait, who are
Yeah. Let's just remind everyone. Yeah.
Oh God! Now I'm gonna forget the second one because there was another person who left in part in response to an edit I made. But the first is Martha Bueno because Martha Bueno's because I have it on good authority that my clip was shared to her private Discord, and that is what caused her to spiral. And she responded to that clip that I put out originally, and it got like 12,000 views on Twitter. Like it spread quite a ways when I put it out. So if you go back analytics wise,
he follows from that. It's messed up.
I mean, I had another clip of the show that I edited that got like pretty good traction too, because a lot of it's just like no one knew what the show was, but they're like, oh, this is funny. And it was topical to what was happening with the libertarian drama stuff, so it was perfect. But yeah, so that's sort of what I'm doing now with Tower Gang stuff. Is I'll be doing like shorts and stuff for them that are sort of cut up. You know.
Well, we know you do a bang up job making things funny, and so you're gonna do great with them. Obviously, they got good funny content anyway. But yeah, it looks like even the chat knows. There you go. Yeah,
milk toast titties.
They're not. That's what I stand by my statement. I stand by my statements, even though she left the party. I guess. Mitch, where are we going?
Honest to God, I think we were the excuse.
Oh, for sure.
Like there was.
It was a marketing play. She knew she could get more OnlyFans subscribers in the conservative movement.
And fair enough. Recently, I don't know if any of you guys have seen this. She has recently discovered the manosphere.
You should play
great.
that clip that you sent me. Yeah, we should talk.
The clip of her on some manosphere show. Like,
I mean, if we're gonna go there, I think they had like 12,000 views or something. You know, maybe 12,000 subscribers. I don't know, but it was basically this guy was, I don't know, he was doing it kind of slick. He was trying to make her say something about her being on OnlyFans in a negative way, but she was like, "Yeah, no, I'm on it." Can you find the clip? Because I'm not going to do a good job of paraphrasing whatever he had to say.
No, you're good. Let me see if I can find this here. But yeah, no, it just goes to show you what Leighton's talking about, though. Like, there's such a marketing aspect to it.
Yeah. The next time you clip me up talking about Martha, though, I want at least 10 new followers on I got none from this, and we were just starting out.
Rob, get on my level. I got the coveted Michael Malice follow.
Shut up. These are from shows whenever we're only on episode 76. So imagine what it was like. Like, we had nothing. We had no one. And now we're demonetized. Thanks, Leighton. That's cool.
No, you're allowed to smoke weed on live now.
I was just joking. But are you throwing fake rules at us?
No, that's real now.
That's real? That's cool.
Yeah. Because all the states were legalizing, and so there were so many people who wanted to do weed streams that they were like, well, shit. We kind of have to.
You can't do weed streams?
Doesn't Alaska have the highest amount of stoners too, or something crazy like that?
I think it's us in Colorado per capita. It's the highest.
Where is that even from? Where are the sources?
Where
are the documents?
I don't have a source for that. I've just read it, definitely.
I think we are. The Reddit weed source. Are you searching for that clip, Mitch? Is that why it's taking you so long?
Yeah, the problem is I had it shared on Signal, so it wasn't like I had it ready for this one.
Don't worry about it then. It's not even worth it, to be honest.
I got in an argument on Twitter yesterday with Barry Cooper. That was interesting.
What?
Well, he responded to a Dave Smith post, and I responded to him, and then it devolved from there. It was over the whole Israel-Palestine horse shit. But it was he just gave a shitty response to something Dave said, and so I responded to him, kind of with my own response. And then instead of responding to me, he just started going, "Oh, you're too young for me to respond," and so I just started shitting on him from then on out. And some of the Tower Gang guys,
old farts or something.
Oh no! So that dude is he's I think he's technically has some kind of law degree of some kind. I have no idea, but he was a cop who yes, this is that the you don't know who you're dealing with guy? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's the he was a cop who worked with the DEA, I believe, and stuff, and then he started doing a series called Don't Get Busted. On DVD, that was about how not to get caught by the cops, and he became pretty famous for that, in the libertarian side of things too. He has YouTube videos with 14 million views and stuff. His channel's dead now. It gets less than mine does, so it's kind of depressing.
Oh, so he's just a pompous douche.
Yeah, he's just a has-been, but the exchange was hilarious because it's just he's incapable of answering anybody's questions. Like it's like just sidelining
Well,
everything.
I mean, like, real talk, though, like, there's a lot of people like that I see on Twitter who I guess are also supposed to have credibility to their names. And I keep on seeing Ryan Dawson going back and forth with, like, the Tower Gang and shit like that. Can we please, like, I'm going to make an offer. I will sponsor a fight between one person from the Tower Gang against Ryan Dawson if he comes out to the Florida Freak Fest.
You
I would.
what?
I don't know, man. We'll sponsor a fight. I'll get someone legit. There's got to be someone in the caucus who
I'll give you $10. I'll give you $10 to fight. No,
I would put up money to see Ryan Dawson Top or Ryan Dawson Reed Coverdale fight.
Ooh. Which one would be the best one to go up and fight him? Or,
We're gonna
or they have
start
to have, like,
Reed.
Reed, you think
As
Reed
someone who works in Alaska, I've met Reed. Reed has trucker farm strength.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with.
Dude's probably got a hell of a hook.
Are we gonna sell this pay-per-view as infighting the pay-per-view? Because I don't think we should promote libertarian infighting any more than it already goes on.
Yeah, but
right?
this goes beyond libertarianism. This is just straight up shit talking on Twitter.
Patrick, Top is like 5'2", but he's brown, so that adds like 5 inches to that stat. That's how that works.
You got a problem with 5'2" people? You can get the fuck out of here. But Pat, me and you are like the same height. We're all short.
Oh wait, guys, this isn't gonna happen. Reed likes Dawson.
I know, but
It's got to be Top then.
I mean, if it's for charity.
At that point, we're putting Cole up. If you're putting somebody from there up, because he lifts. I want to see, if we're gonna see a fight, somebody's got to get knocked out. That's the end goal here.
Lifting and boxing are two way different things. I think libertarians would pay a massive amount of money to see libertarian, like a rough and rowdy kind of deal. It's a pretty cool idea.
Absolutely.
Honestly.
No, I pitched back when the convention was going on, the kind of contentious convention where everything was being taken over. I wanted that fucking fat trumpet player had a music store. I'm trying to remember who the guy was. He was in the Fakertarian side of things back in the day. But some pudgy fuck who owned a music store was like one of the guys in that group, and I wanted to sumo wrestle him at convention. I was like, we'll do it in the parking lot.
No,
I'll set up Waldenberg. That's it. Walden Titties.
Oh, wow.
So we could have branded it as Lay Titty versus Walden Titties.
Yeah, I think we should sponsor this, Mitch. I think we should do MMA though. We like if you want to do boxing, we can do boxing. But Leighton, we could get Leighton doing the sumo. Like all different kinds of fights.
We can run this like one of those old UFC fights before they had like regulations on the fights and weight classes. You ever seen all those old videos of like a sumo wrestler going against some skinny dude?
Yeah.
When they would just fight until they gave up.
No, but I want, like, if it's going to be a sumo fight, I want it to be a straight up sumo fight. And I want diapers and I want.
Oh, that's what I said. I publicly challenged that motherfucker and he was the one who backed out. He never responded.
People think sumo is just two unathletic fat dudes. You're wrong. Like, sumo wrestling gets intense. These guys smack hard. They hit hard, and I don't know. I feel like you'd have to train. You'd have to train a little bit for that.
I have 4 brothers. I've been training for that my whole life.
Okay. So this is like rough and rowdy. I think we can get the Libertarian Party of Florida next year, maybe to, get behind this a little bit. I think,
if we get the whole card, what other fights can we throw on there?
Well, I don't know. I think you could get Pat. Pat would fight somebody. I think he's down for it. I think you could get a fake wrestling match. Not fake. You could get
So these are all like this is like the mid card we're talking about here, obviously.
Yeah, we could get like a professional wrestling match, whatever, like tag team match. I don't know. You could get some of that on there for strictly entertainment. That'd be a good idea. Get some of the wrestlers from Panama City the Bay County Libertarians have sponsored that amateur wrestling thing. I don't know. I'm just coming up with it in my head right now. I think Dave Smith has some pull. If we can get ears to Dave Smith's
Listen,
ears.
Hand is undefeated. I don't know if anyone wants to go up against Hand.
I mean, there's the invisible guy. We could
Dude,
have
Dave Smith's Hand, man. Don't fuck with Dave Smith's Hand.
All right. Pat, you're not a fighter, but if you get drunk, you're fighting anyway. You almost fought a karaoke DJ one time. I witnessed it with my own 2 eyes.
I feel like drunk Pat could throw down.
So like, just shooting the shit on the LP and all that too. Rob, you and I were talking right before the show here, and I kind of have heard some weird stuff through the rabbit hole with the LP.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's election year, so we gotta.
It's election year, so there could be some truth to this. So like, I regularly talk to a lot of people in the party, even people who hate us, and when I'm hearing shit like this from people like him, it's kind of raising an eyebrow. And I guess so. This starts off with me hearing this rumor about Polk County, which, in case none of our listeners know, there's a Polk County here in Florida, and it turns out there's also one over in Iowa. So I heard this rumor and I was like, does this have anything to do with Polk? And so I'm hearing nothing from here in Florida. So then I reach out to him and I just straight up asked, like, what the fuck's going on here? Apparently there's some people in the Polk County Libertarian Party in Iowa who are courting Vivek Ramaswamy to jump to the L.
To the L.
And I don't know the details, but I guess this got big enough that 2 of Vivek's people recently attended an LP event out there.
Now,
so I heard about.
Once again, this is just what I'm hearing.
I heard about his people attending events. I had heard that part of that
in Iowa.
Okay, so now
I didn't know where it was. I just heard he had attended. Somebody in his group had attended LP stuff.
How long ago was this, Mitch?
This is something that I've been hearing about the last few days.
Okay.
When all of this happened, though, I have no idea.
Gotcha.
I heard it 2 days ago about the people attending something.
Joey's saying Rami quit the LP. So first of all, just impressions, Leighton. What do you think? What do you think about that? And then second off, we got 7 live people in the chat. If you haven't already, like the video and subscribe. We need more subscribers, trying to get 500. But yeah, thoughts on what kind of candidate is he fit for an LP candidate?
That's a tough question because I think it comes down to not knowing what his actual hard values are with some of the opinions he takes. I mean, clearly he wants to use government in a way that's certainly not libertarian in some of the things he said. So I don't know how that would actually work as far as our positions that we take as a party. But I think, honestly, like, I'll make a similar comment when I saw people talking about like RFK and people like that jumping over to the LP stuff. I think it'd be pretty difficult for them to actually get the nomination within the party because of the way our structure is set up. And again, because he's not willing to take up a lot of those libertarian positions, I don't know that people would put any value behind him. But if he got up there at convention or something, being that the field of candidates right now is not exactly the best, I feel like he could probably sway people, but I don't know that he's willing to do that.
I think he can. I do like Vivek at running with the Republicans, but it's things like I'm about to share a clip here. It's things like this that he says that are very not anti-war and very not libertarian.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about when I say I think he's got problems.
Yeah, so let me know. Hopefully the audio is good right here.
So I've said that not only will we use the military to secure our own southern border, I've said that not only will we use the military to secure our own southern border, we will go further. If we can use our military to take out bin Laden or al-Zawahiri or Soleimani or ISIS somewhere else in some other part of the world, then we are ready to use our military to annihilate the Mexican drug cartels south of our own border. That is what it means to be an American. We solve that problem. What it means to be an American means reviving the ideals in that.
Yeah, so that's a big.
And that's what I think he'd have a problem with, is like he'd have to legitimately get on stage at convention theoretically and pour his heart out about how, well, the things that I want to do can be done within this framework. But I just don't see him ever doing that, because you've got 1,000 different clips like that.
It would require such a U-turn.
Yes, yeah.
Like,
Which I mean, he is a politician at this point, so wouldn't be completely unfounded, but would definitely be a 180.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You could. My view on the overall drug war, I'm very against the drug war, and like it's one of my main reasons why I'm a libertarian. And I feel like you could solve it non-violently. You got to make it decriminalize everything, and there's a few other things that you have to do with the border and stuff, and you kind of nullify whatever the cartel's doing. In my opinion, I think overall, right? So that
grand scale of things, drugs are a problem that has been able to be solved for a very long time. The government specifically, really the pharmaceutical side of it, and the people like the CIA are the ones who've kept the drug trade really alive.
Mm-hmm. No, and then also, what does that say about some of these candidates running in the LP, that we're still kind of, even though we have 6 perfectly fine libertarian presidential candidates, people are still reaching out to people like Vivek and RFK to try and get some publicity, right? What does that say about us as a principled party? I don't think it's good.
Well, it's definitely not good. I've talked about that. We've got right now the field presidentially within the libertarian side of things is basically made up of Joshua Smith, Rechtenwald, Chase Oliver, Toad. Like, those are the only people running who I really care about.
I love how you
guys aren't feeling the Jacob Hornberger revolution.
I include Toad based off of the fact that he is the troll vote, and there is a group of people who are just not going to.
Nah, man, Hornberger is gonna pull it off. I'm telling you.
Now you're just doing some peddling for the Tower Power Hour, and that's not going to be allowed on this show. I can tell you that right now. But who right now? You can't say Toad. Who right now is leading for you in the LP presidential and for your vote?
Currently over Rechtenwald and Joshua Smith is Joshua Smith. And that's, to me, frankly, because I was pretty clear on I'm going to support whichever candidate has the most experience or has talked the most about my area, which is Alaska. Rechtenwald has said in his history of being on Twitter a whole fat 0 about my state. So I don't have a ton of care about anything he's doing. He hasn't responded to any of the stuff that I've put out. He did follow me, I believe, on Twitter, but never responded to anything. So I don't that is what it is. I know a few people who are working on his campaign and stuff, but so far nothing's really come from that. As far as the Joshua Smith stuff, he lived here at some point, so he has at least some experience about how the state operates, how it's laid out, the geography of it. That puts him automatically ahead of him. So.
You never know.
Yeah.
But that's cool. So whenever you were down here visiting, and I don't know if you wanted to talk about this, you were talking to me. I don't know if you remember, specifically about the inner workings of the Alaska LP and maybe the future of it.
Yeah.
And you want to kind of talk about that and kind of spread the word on what's going on, or you want to keep that close to your chest?
Some of it I gotta keep close to my chest, but the gist of it is that, when the whole kind of takeover stuff was going on in other states and things, that never really happened in Alaska. We kind of just remained the same way we had been for a long time. There was a kerfuffle with some people who came into the party a while back that got kind of ousted and stuff. This was a while ago. But some things were put in place before our last convention to basically thwart newcomers into the party. They put a thing that said you had to be a member for 6 months or you had to volunteer for 4 hours to be able to vote at convention. which at the time, because there was no real events being held by anybody, there wasn't really an opportunity to volunteer. And if you didn't sign up within that 6-month window, you just didn't have a say-so in anything. So it made it really hard to kind of get new people into the party and kind of market everything. It kind of put a shot my whole thing I had going in the ass. And then shortly thereafter that, everybody who was doing that stuff just left the party and gave up. And so since that's happened, I got just recently, a few weeks ago, elected to the comms director position on the board. And then
a noble cause, mind you.
Yes, somebody got put in as the treasurer secretary because that position also needed replaced. And so now we're just kind of limping along the convention. But I sort of have a plan, if things go correctly, to really sort of message everything with the party a bit differently and to try to bring in a new sort of group of people from outside areas in the state that maybe haven't been catered to before, or in a very long time. And kind of a return to the old libertarian system in Alaska from the 1970s. Sort of going back to that kind of time and market strategy.
Nice. And I hope anyone who's involved in the Alaskan LP watches this and, gets with you and likes what you're doing. But when is y'all's convention, and when have any presidential candidates visited you guys yet? Or are you kind of waiting for that?
No, so we did have a representative from Mike Termott's campaign in one of our meetings. So I don't know if he's maybe trying to go. I know there was somebody from Chase Oliver's camp talking about getting a table or something at the convention. But as far as officially, no. We did have last go around, we had Spike come over this way when he was a vice president nominee, and then we had Joe come over and do a speech and stuff and do an event in Alaska when she was running. But other than that, we haven't had anybody from what I would say the new era of LP people come over at all. Which is one of my complaints for sure with some of the LP stuff. I've really soured on a lot of the national stuff recently because my position at this point is that national is just never going to pay attention to states that don't have a lot of delegates because it's just not in their invested interest. So if you're in a state like that, you probably don't have any need really paying attention to much of what they're doing.
Yeah, well, get more delegates. You suck.
Well, yeah. We have 5. We got 5, which isn't that bad.
Yeah. It's too cold up there. No, I don't know, man, but you mentioned Spike. I don't know.
Really
a lot of
want
people
to see him run, but at this point, I feel like it's not going to happen.
It's too late, I think. If he was going to run, he would have done it already, I think. But
everything that I had heard had pointed towards November at the latest. Because I had heard things from a lot of different people, even conversations where I guess Spike had someone basically that I know drew out, not literally but figuratively, how where the Liberty Movement is and where he sits as far as chess pieces go. And Spike basically agreed that him running would be the best move to make, but I don't know, man. Our fucking leaders, for some reason, don't want to fucking do the hard work.
Yeah, I feel like it would be harder running as a vice president under Joe Jorgensen.
Dude, in 2020, we were talking about a race between Justin Amash, Spike Cohen, and Dave Smith, and now we're not going to have any of the 3.
But
what the fuck happened?
But we have 6 principled candidates. Honestly, I think I'd be fine with any of them. Obviously, I have my favorites, but I'm keeping that close to my chest for other reasons. But I'm on
the Rechtenwald wagon.
Yeah, I mean, Spike throwing his hat in the ring he's got enough pull. I feel like it's not too late. He could hop in.
I wish he would. I thought maybe that if this was going to happen, it would come around the time Javier Milei won. And now that we're going into December and New Year's is fast approaching, first day of Hanukkah tonight, but unfortunately, Restream didn't want to give us some good Jew music. But
Jew music.
It would have been perfect, man, to have some like some Hanukkah music going in the background.
Rabbi, drop the beat.
Don't give you the reason to start clipping us up. I'm chilling on that. So
just play Oy Vey, Shut It Down in the background.
Yeah. But no, man, like it seemed like everything was pointing to maybe it was going to happen, but now that we're on the verge of a new year, I feel like it's not going to happen.
I don't know if this is a good year for an LP candidate per se, because you do have RFK running as an independent, and you do have Vivek, who is saying he might run as an independent. You know, a lot of people are wanting to run as Trump's vice chair, but you got Trump and Biden obviously duking it out again, unfortunately. But it's kind of the year, like you mentioned, Javier Milei won in Argentina, ANCAP libertarian. Great win for libertarians everywhere, I think. But then in the Netherlands, you have this far right by the mainstream media's account, leader of the Freedom Party in Norway winning. I don't know if you've heard about this. I'll play a clip from Paul Joseph Watson's show real quick.
Absolute mad lad's only gone and done it. You just witnessed the biggest political earthquake in Europe since Brexit. Geert Wilders' right-wing populist party not only won the election, they crushed it. Establishment lackeys reacted with a collective gasp of shock and disbelief.
I love that so much. That's like the that's like the when Trump won in 2016, all the like the screaming libtards and stuff. It just brings absolute joy to my heart.
Now watch how lefties cheered the result of their own candidate. Before hearing that Wilders' party had completely trounced them.
So there's like this feeling that I love while watching this where it's like, sure, normally these more like right conservative people, they're not our racehorses, but they also aren't their racehorses. And that just makes that so fun to watch.
Right. And I want to do some more research on this guy, Gertrude. I don't even know his name, but
I just got a fucked up name.
Yeah, you got a fucked up name. But I mean, that's fine analysis from us right now. I want to look him up, and I don't know what he's about, but there's something going on this year.
There's a lot of really interesting geopolitical moves going on right now that makes me feel like we're entering Cold War II, or we've already been in Cold War II. It's just ramping up.
Yeah, I feel like we've been there, but as far as the whole, individual freedom versus the more communist socialist. I don't like saying liberal or woke because I think both those terms have been kind of co-opted. But yeah, it's this culture war you're saying, right? And I think we're all a part of it. We're in the middle of it, so it's nice to see it going the other way.
I mean, I think it goes a bit deeper than just the culture wars stuff. Like, yeah, there's a lot. There's definitely something else going on to where you're seeing different groups that support different interests being propped up in many different areas. I mean, shit, we're looking at proxy wars that are about to break out in Eritrea, between Eritrea and Ethiopia and Venezuela and Guyana.
Yeah, I know nothing.
All these other groups are getting funded and they're rising up. Like, it feels like you're seeing proxies battling as sort of in a way.
Interesting. I mean, not to get into the proxy wars because I don't know who's funding who at this point. But as far as parties go and voting wise, is two major countries in Argentina and the Netherlands that have ultimately rejected their traditional leftist political figures and parties and opted for a more not conservative but more libertarian guy in Javier Milei, and whoever this guy is, we'll have to do some more research on it too. But it just astounds because whenever you think about like the countries with like they're homogeneously white and they have the big social safety nets and a lot of welfare and whatnot, you think like Norway, Sweden, Netherlands, stuff like that, and it's all hunky dory. And then this happens, so kind of throws a wrench into the thought process of a lot of American leftists, I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But I don't know. I thought it was a good time to bring that up. We got a couple Panama City people in here. I wanted to play this clip because this is y'all's mayor at a town hall meeting. I don't know if you saw this in the chat, Mitch, but apparently he's just happy about destroying documents.
I have the original. I threw it away.
So you destroyed a public record.
That's destroying a public record. If you go in your physical capacity,
well, every way you look at this is just not good.
Why don't you just go ahead and spank me, okay?
What did he
say? I don't have the original. I threw it away.
That's what I
In
did.
some ways, I respect someone who's just a straight up gangster like that.
And they'll still vote for me. Spank me. That should be his new campaign slogan.
What are you gonna do?
So
Vote
destroy a public
Republican?
record.
That's destroying a public record. If you go in your physical capacity,
well, every way you look at this is just not good.
why don't you just go ahead and spank me, okay?
What did he say? Did you hear the lady in the background? Oh.
I know that's what does it. It's her little reaction to it. Oh, I bet that's like the recorder or something, just like the secretary.
I bet that's his wife. That's my wife in the back.
You can't wheel her out of the house.
Yeah, no.
Someone who works with him, on the inside is just thinking, "You fucking idiot."
Yeah, so Pat, Joey, y'all gotta get on that. Yeah, he said that. We have some of the dumbest politicians ever. I mean,
I don't know, man. Like, there have been some pretty crazy ones. Like, there was a gubernatorial debate from Idaho that. You ever seen the Sea Captain?
Oh, I know this one. I've seen this in Discord.
Oh man, the memes. Hang on, I'll pull this one up. This one, luckily, is easier to find than Martha Bueno in the Manosphere.
yeah, but as a country and even locally, as a city, as a state, we've lost it to the point where these politicians feel comfortable going on the record and saying they have destroyed documents that are, I guess, being requested publicly. He's like, so what? Spank me, dude. I don't know. Yeah, no one's engaged enough to even care at this point. Everyone in Panama City Beach is too busy on their boats, getting drunk, and keeping those spring breakers from being able to get drunk. That's not cool. You guys should.
I agree with you there. Me and Pat talked about that a ton while I was there, and that whole thing seems corrupt as shit.
Is Pat pro spring
like,
breakers?
He seemed more pro it. I think it brings a lot of money into the area. Like, why wouldn't you want that? It doesn't make any sense to me.
A lot of broken glass too, Leighton. You got to think about old people.
So there's I'm not
Crimea
familiar with this
River.
debate. I'm from Florida, and I'm not even familiar with this debate. There's controversy around spring breakers. I'd figure wouldn't that be good for the economy?
Well, Panama City traditionally is where people would go for spring break, right? Do you remember growing up as a kid and sneaking off and watching MTV Spring Break? Because I know I did at night. You know what I'm talking about.
I do not, but I'll take your word for it.
But anyway, yeah. So I want to say, probably a while ago now, 5-6 years ago, maybe 2018. Correct me in the chat, but they outlawed drinking on the beach for the months of February through March, or with to some extent, something like that. And so functionally eliminating spring breaking on Panama City Beach. 2015. So even 3 years, almost a decade now.
Huh.
Yeah, so
It
I mean,
really sucks. I mean, because it just kills the economy, and then all those businesses that look at that as like a time of year they're going to get a nice nut, of money, is now just removed from the business cycle. So, my assumption is a lot of businesses probably closed because of that. Like, it's got to be a good chunk of revenue.
yeah, and if you're not familiar with Florida, guys, like drinking on the beach is the lifeblood of our whole economy here. It really does a number on the whole state.
Dude, Pat took me to a place while we were in Orlando where you can just openly drink beer and play soccer at the same time outside. I was
Yeah.
like, this is the shit. Like that you can't drink outdoors in Alaska, like we don't have open container laws like you guys do. So the whole like walking around drinking thing is like it just doesn't happen here. So it was definitely interesting.
Yeah, I love going to other states and then finding out weird law. Like I went to Indiana whenever I was
I mean,
20, and
you-
they wouldn't let me in the bar at all. You had to be 21 to go in the bar, and that pissed me off because I grew up with Florida privilege. I'm just like, no, I can be in here. I just can't drink. It's they're like,
shit.
no, we've heard that before.
I mean, shit. You ever been to Vegas? It's like anarchy on the street there.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I made the mistake of trying to talk to some dude that was passed out in the grass walking down the street in Vegas. I was trying to make sure he was okay. I was like, "You okay, bud?" And he was like, "Ah!" I was like, "No, run away,
Jesus.
run away." But yeah,
Oh, man.
Oh yeah, Club Live, right? You guys lost the largest nightclub in the country. Yeah, cost Panama City that. I mean, it sucks.
So I'm curious now. Like, Rob, you haven't seen this gubernatorial debate.
Which
You haven't seen this gubernatorial
I
debate.
don't think so. Which state?
This is an old Idaho debate from, I want to say, around like 2014. And well, no other way to put it. I'm curious though if the Panhandle is really this bad.
Studios. Tonight, the 4 Republican candidates for governor take the stage to ask for your. Brown is a former commanding officer of Naval Construction Forces, a professional engineer, and a public works officer.
This
He
guy
lives
looks
in
like an
Nampa.
evil character
Walt
and like
Hayes
a.
is a high school graduate, a
It's a
grandfather,
Wolfenstein
great-grandfather.
character.
He says he has lost almost as many elections as Abraham Lincoln. He has lived in Idaho for 70 years.
We've got a thing called abortion. I've got 77 descendants. My wife and I had 16 kids, 8 boys and 8 girls. I had 4 sons that made pro rodeo cowboys and 1 daughter. And I've got a lot at stake here.
They say that the child is the father of the man. And when I was a kid, I used to play Army all the time. Bang, I got you. No, bang, I got you. I could never once remember one incident in my childhood when I played politician. Anyhow, I got out of the service, and several years later, I was at the low point of my life. I mean, things were bad.
I mean, I was
And
smoking
out
crack
God.
out
I
of
said,
hookers'
God, how
buttholes.
about putting me back on
This guy's. I would vote for him. Any politician that goes, man, I was down bad. I just need more elaboration on his part.
Was this guy with the Libertarian Party? If he wasn't, I feel like he should.
I feel like he does belong with us, but I don't want to admit it. I feel like I've seen him before.
Wait a minute, was that guy in Reno?
Yeah, we need to talk to the Idaho Libertarian Party to see what's going on with them. Okay, this is wild.
Exactly.
Keep it going. Oh, you're not gonna keep it. Okay, that's.
Well, you
fine.
want me to keep it going? I can keep it
Yeah,
going.
I kind of did. I was entertained by that.
No. I'll get it back up then.
Oh man.
The Idaho.
We got a guy in the chat, Fedor. Thank you, chat, for JC and all you guys for talking to him in the chat, because like he's asking some questions and I really want to get to him, but it's definitely a lot. We're gonna be like, okay, here's what happened with the LP. Here's what's going on, and we are making a lot more money here in Florida, mind you.
Yeah, I know. It's just a lot of things.
Yeah, I
happen.
think when you look at things from a state to state basis, it's not nearly as bad as the national is. And as far as that goes, I think you should care more about the local than you do the national anyway. So
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
curious where Mr. Fedor's from, by the way. But yeah, let's keep this guy going.
You don't know where Fedor Emelianenko is from? He's one of
Look.
the just
Mr. Remenko.
This guy in the chat. Yeah.
I know.
Is it the Russians? All right, I'm gonna hit one.
Commander says, no, son, I got a higher rank for you. I'm going to make you the commander-in-chief.
Well, back when they told me that we couldn't homeschool, I prayed about it. I stood on my hind legs like a man. I told them what I thought of them, and the television would talk to me for 30 minutes or an hour. And, well, what would you do if they came out to take your kids? Well, I'd shoot them. What else would you do? You haven't changed a thing.
No?
I don't care about political correctness. If the Supreme Court goes to hell, I'm not following. Abortion is murder, and it'll stay that way till somebody throws me out.
As it says in my...
The founder of the Mises Caucus, ladies and gentlemen.
That guy is the actual Idaho potato. But yeah, this is amazing. I wonder, he wouldn't have lasted long in office though. He looks pretty old.
Dude, all these people, like both of them look like this guy feels like he could have been a mix of Andrew who's that one? Andrew Gillum and Rob Ford.
I mean, Rob
Ford was the crack mayor in Toronto.
Yes, I think. Yeah, I don't get every single one of your references, but I know Rob Ford.
Yeah, that was Rob Ford. Andrew Gillum was the Democrat who ran for governor down here in Florida, who got caught with the prostitute and what other drugs was it? Was it meth? I feel like
that happens every week there, though.
Probably also smoke. Yeah, it's not like, yeah. It's not a big deal here, but it was a big enough deal where we were like, "Oop, got you." It was right before an election, so
they just track all your politicians and wait and see when they enter the Miami code, and then they're like, "Local mayor visits Miami."
No, what you do, you find a Republican gay, and then you send him undercover to all these top politician parties, and then boom. Got him.
So that's where George Santos is going to be next.
Club.
Gilm was only weird.
Right up the middle. That's my
male hooker in his room. I didn't know he was passed out. I mean, if you're a gay male hooker, what other state are you going to be in besides passed out? To be honest, that's probably it. Probably happens a lot. But I don't know. I might be victim blaming. I could be victim blaming, and I don't want to do that. That's for sure what I'm not trying to do.
I mean, it's not like he has the power of the Obamas.
Don't get me killed, Mitch. I don't want to die, okay? Have we even mentioned Obama's dead chef on this podcast since it happened?
I don't think we have.
What are we doing?
Yeah, it feels like something we probably should.
Why are we even having a podcast if we're not mentioning Obama's dead chef that could swim but drowned in his lake?
I mean, I just kind of assumed that, he was taken out for some reason, but I don't think you'll ever know why. It's sort of like the JFK shit that always irritates me. It's like, you understand that if you are right and this person was taken out through some kind of nefarious means, you're never going to know why. That's the reality. You're just never going to know the reality of it.
Yeah. Magoo, get the fuck out of the chat. No.
Well, JFK, it feels like more than ever that if we are going to know anything really smoking gun wise, it won't be until everyone who's involved is dead.
Yeah. People always say if the forefathers could see us now, they'd be turning in their graves, or they'd put a stop to whatever. But I feel like the forefathers at a certain point would kill all of us too, because they'd be like, y'all are letting this shit happen. Like half the country just takes in that news and understands oh, they killed him, and we just go about our day and listen to podcasts.
I suspect there would be some kind of meeting in which a bunch of old dudes would yell at each other. And then they would go, okay, whoever's with us is with us, and whoever's against us is against us. And that would become sort of the mantra. Similar in the way the revolution took place, I mean.
Or the forefathers would have been like, yeah, we killed our slaves too. I understand. Presidents should be able to do that.
Welp.
What? Oh man. Yeah, Joey. Yeah. Well timed joke. There's already one bad comedian on here, yeah. That's me.
Oh man.
Maybe we'll do a deep dive. We should do like a non-live.
I'm going on a deep dive on portobello mushrooms.
Oh, what Paul Stamets said not to do because it would.
Should you play that clip?
Yeah.
One of you schmucks find that clip real quick and play.
What is this? I'm not even familiar.
I'll find it. Educate him on it real quick. And
Okay, so basically, Paul Stamets on Rogan was talking about portobello mushrooms back and forth with Rogan, and then he just cold stops the conversation and is like, nah, there's like, it's for my own safety. I'm not going to continue talking about this. And like, people are like, what the fuck's going on? So I started last night down a fucking rabbit hole of searching for what is up with portobello mushrooms and why does anybody care about this? And it's some wild shit, dude. It is fucking crazy.
I remember. Oh my god, I remember this. This
Okay.
was from the golden era of Rogan. Go on, hit play.
Okay.
Nature's a numbers game. So there are beneficial compounds that in some balance may outweigh the negative effects of the hydrazines, the agarotines in these mushrooms, but that jury is still out. So
what are the negative benefit or the negative effects of this?
this is an explosive area of conversation, and it puts my life in danger. So I reserve the right not to answer your question.
Whoa. I didn't expect that. It puts your life in danger talking about portobello mushrooms? He's looking at me silently. I will respectfully move on.
Thank you.
I remember
so
this.
Anybody who's interested, just Google that and get back to me. You know what? Next, I'm going to have a guy who's the same height as Paul, and he's going to have a mask on, and we're going to have some sort of electric box that distorts his voice.
No, but the good news
I can tell you the story.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's up with the mushrooms?
Thousands of crickets.
Oh, sorry. That's
Thousands of crickets.
That's Josh Tate with the late kick.
Is it good at eating mushrooms or is it bad? That's all I want to know.
It's got to be bad. It's got to be bad. Portobello.
Don't eat portobello mushrooms.
What have you found out?
So first off, they're full of like carcinogen stuff. So like that's the big thing. Like they definitely are causing like some forms of cancers and mutations within the human body. Like that, we know that. Like that's a thing. Now, there's people who are like, well, you can cook them a certain way and it gets rid of it. I just wouldn't fuck with it. Just don't eat portobello mushrooms. What do you need that with your steak that bad? God damn it. But when you start researching it, so I'm going to read here. This was the first Reddit post I came across. And so far, everything he types here, I've verified and it's true.
And if you want to send anything, I can share it as well. So
yeah. So this guy did some rabbit hole research on this, and I guess people were curious about when he said it on Rogan 3 years ago. The gist is that argaritine, I'm not sure how they want you to pronounce that, what you were referring to in portobellos and agaceous is toxic, and if eaten raw can cause these effects. My own parents for a long time were eating the button form in salads raw, wondering why the salad made them sick. Looking into scientific papers, I guess nobody is sure whether the cooking removes argaritine with a guarantee. So basically, this chemical was studied early on by the U.S. government and a bunch of science labs on repairing the memory in people. They wanted to create a drug for Alzheimer's and things like that. So they synthesized a chemical from portobello mushrooms to do this. Now, this drug that they produced just disappears. Like, the studies on it are positive. Everything on it is positive. And then somewhere in the early 90s, it's just like it vanishes off the face of the earth in as far as mention in any kind of scientific world. It just never is referenced again, which can lead you down either two roads, which is eventually failed, nobody cared, it didn't go anywhere, or the US government found out it did do something, and so they just sort of went, that's ours, and moved it over there. Then the secondary thing is, and this is what I originally came across, if you just Google what's in portobello mushrooms that are weird, and you start going down those kind of searches, you'll find that there's a chemical in it, another compound that they derive that they use to make jet fuel and airplane fuel out of. And so and when you start researching that, you find out there's very few things that they can get that from, and mushrooms are one of the only things they can, and portobellos happen to have the most of it. So there is sort of a literal mafia around the production and cultivation of portobello mushrooms in a way, and this sort of science structure that is completely shrouded from like public view, because so much of the stuff is not public. It's all been kind of classified, put behind government records, and sort of stowed away. And so it's definitely a rabbit hole I'm sort of just getting started in, but it's crazy. Like
there's all this talk of secret societies, and who'd have thought it was portobello mushrooms the whole time?
Well, so
mushroom wars.
I find weird stuff like that quite a bit, like markets that don't make sense. Some people talk about money laundering, right? You'll see businesses that just get no people in them. Like they get no activity. And you're like, this thing's been here 15 years. Nobody's gone in there.
Long John Silver's and Captain D's. Big
right.
laundering spots. Calling it.
So like, you see those places and it makes you sort of think, but then you go, well, that's happening on a way more like micro scale with like just random people where they're like kind of cleaning money and doing that kind of stuff on a daily basis. So I think much like that, there's all the other stuff going on constantly. So it's like, there's probably 1,000 different markets like that, like those mushrooms, that have some other purpose that we don't know the meaning of.
Do portobello mushrooms melt steel beams?
What do you think?
Well, we could test this.
It melt my intestines, I'll tell you that much. The farts are not good after portobello mushrooms. But that is crazy. I hope you do come out with an episode on Outlawed Thoughts or something like that.
Even this is an article here from Upworthy where it's like, what do portobello mushrooms have to do with better batteries? Like, if you're asking that question, there's something going on with your mushroom that isn't normal to other mushrooms.
What do the mushrooms know?
JC's in the chat talking about the glitter factories. I've heard about this one, but I didn't go deep into it.
I know that story. So basically glitter
there's a conspiracy around glitter. I already believe it.
It's not as much of a conspiracy. Basically glitter gets bought up and it's a really huge market, but everybody was like, who the fuck is buying glitter? But basically what it is that glitter is used in automotive paint.
Boats.
But the and boats as well. But neither of those companies want people to really know that they're using it. So they just sort of buy it off the books. So it's not as much of a conspiracy as it is just sort of a weird happenstance.
Interesting.
Yeah, I've heard that before with like boats, because a lot of boats use a lot of glitter.
The glitterati. I think those are just the trans people.
Yeah. I would assume a lot of nightclubs, stuff like that. The car and automotive and boat industry makes sense. They paint. I mean, it's really expensive to get your car repainted. They probably don't want you to know it's just glitter. It's like, we just put a little glitter in our paints.
Just gay it up a bit and spray it and go.
Nobody can ever know.
I had glitter. I would find glitter on me randomly for a good 2 or 3 years because I moved into a garage at one point and when we were moving, gold glitter spilled everywhere.
Rob,
so I would just find it everywhere.
You have no idea of the place that I'm currently living in. The glitter, it doesn't go away.
Are you rooming with strippers?
It goes.
Yeah, you need to come up to Pensacola. I promise. If we have a house, we won't get glitter everywhere. I give you both.
Glitter will never be allowed in Swamp Cast.
Fuck you! I'm flying to Florida to glitter bomb your house.
If you glitter bomb Swamp Cast Studios whenever it opens, by God help you, Leighton.
Yeah, that would.
I will have an airsoft gun on standby to shoot you.
I'm gonna get one of those porch pirate bombs that Mark Rover guy made and just ship it to your house.
Yeah, I mean, I love those things, but so help me God, if anyone glitter bombed me, I would be very upset.
Mitch is gonna open a box one day and hear a spinning sound and just run.
Yeah, give it to him. All right, we gotta wrap it up. I have a podcast at 8:30. Leighton, plug your show and anything you want.
Yeah, Twitter at Liberty Leighton. I'll post everything that I do over there when I do it, and then check out my YouTube channel. I've been covering a lot of random pop culture stuff, this whole Eric July drama, a bunch of stuff in that space, and been doing pretty good. Got like 25,000 views in the last like week and a half, so
yeah, awesome.
Not bad. So go check that stuff out. We did a big talk, like 3-hour show talking about the Malay stuff that was pretty good. Yeah, good stuff.
Awesome, and thanks for coming on again. Mitch,
Thanks for having me on. It's always a blast.
Yeah, of course. Go check out 1776swag.com where I got a bunch. If for whatever reason you want Vivek Ramaswamy to come into the party, go check out the Vivek Ramaswamy merch that I have up there. If not, go then check out all the other libertarian merch. Or if you hate politics altogether, go check out the anarchy merch. I don't know. I got merch. I'm trying to cover all the bases. I even got it if you love RFK. So go check out 1776 swag.
Ooh, a little RFK hate in the club. I mean, we didn't.
You know what? I can't fucking stand the guy, but at least he has reminded me that there's still money in the Kennedy name.
Definitely is. Yep.
So thank you, RFK, for that.
Yeah, and we were gonna talk about him. We didn't even get to him, so sad stuff. But I feel like we got to portobello mushrooms, which is the most important topic that I care to talk about these days, honestly. But yeah, if you like college football, you want to talk college football, the regular season's over, but we got bowl season coming up. Got college football extravaganza on the Swamp Creatures Network, and college football extravaganza page. Follow that. Going on at 8:30, 9:30 Eastern. What's up?
Go Blue.
They're in. Michigan's in, dude. They're in. I
know.
Y'all got to play Alabama. We'll see. Alabama might not be the Titan that everyone thinks they are. I know Florida State fans are salty. Florida State fans are real salty.
Listen, I'm just staying humble throughout all of this.
They have a right to be. Well, yeah, that's the biggest move. That's the biggest move that they could do. Yeah.
I'm just staying humble because when I brag too much, that's when my teams lose. So I'm letting all the other people talk all the other smack. Please talk all the smack about Blue all you want.
Oh, he wants the letter, Kenny. Okay, hang on. We'll end on this. I'll entertain Joey real quick. Joey's a follower of the College Football Extravaganza podcast. It's one of the up and coming college football podcasts out there, and we're mostly Gator fans on there, but we enjoy our FSU folk, and we'll have them on, and especially let them commiserate in the chat. I don't know why it's not popping up.
And I have nothing against the Gators, the enemy of my enemy.
Yeah, right. Here we go. I'll just play it for you.
Florida State Seminole Vesicles.
There you go. The Florida State Seminole Vesicles. They got left out of the college football playoff. They're very sad.
Florida State Seminole Vesicles
about it. So there we go. Yeah. Thanks again for coming on, man. I'll see you on Twitter. And I got to get up to Alaska one of these days. My parents are going to
Florida State Summer Vesticles. Would that be a good shirt?
Florida State Seminole Vesticles?
Seminole Vesticles?
Yeah, but don't get sued by Letterkenny because it's from Letterkenny.
Oh, is it? Fuck.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, I mean, you can make the shirt.
I mean, I might be able to throw it up and just see how long they keep it up there before they take it down.
Hopefully you make enough money. I think we have some buyers in the house, so I think you might make enough money off of it in the time between once they get word of it, it's gonna it's gonna get shut down. That's for sure.
Listen, Dale Gribble shirts sold before Fox got to them. Maybe I could do that here.
Exactly. Thank you guys for joining us. Hopefully, some of y'all follow us over to the College Football Podcast in like an hour.
Do it.
Do it.
Good.